I'm Claire Sobano from Capgemini, and it is my pleasure today to bring together Anirban Bose, Financial Services CEO for Capgemini, and Bill Borden, who is Corporate Vice President and Head of Worldwide Financial Services for Microsoft. Thank you very much for joining me today, Anirban and Bill.
Thank you.
My objective today is for you to share your insights about the state of the financial services industry, the key trends that you see, and the digital opportunities ahead. To get started, I would like to talk about the current state of the financial services industry. You both see CXOs of financial institutions. I would like to understand, what do you perceive is top of their mind today? Maybe starting with you, Bill.
Sure. Thanks, Claire. Pleasure to be here. Top of mind, there's lots of issues going on, right? We've just come out of and are coming through one of the most tumultuous years on record with the pandemic. So first and foremost has been the safety and security of the institution's employee bases. And it's been rather amazing the work that the industry has done to actually move to remote everything. 90+% of the industry working at home. If you had asked any of these CXO suites that question of whether it could be done a year ago, just pragmatically over time, I'm sure the answer would have been probably no. But the reality of it is that these institutions did move to remote everything. They did move to ensuring that their employees could work soundly and safely, and then serve their customers on the other side of that. So with the response, it's been amazing. The industry has worked, it has survived, it has been on the front lines, serving the financial needs of individuals and companies and governments and institutions around the world. Capital markets have been open, and it's been rather amazing what's been done. Now, the move from response to recovery and think about where to go next is the challenge. Lots of competition around that with regards to what's next for serving customers and what are going to be the ongoing changes just in terms of consumer behavior and business behavior and impacts around moving to this remote environment and the notion of coming back to work, and studies around behaviors that will last through the pandemic and beyond in terms of buying patterns and behaviors, expectations around usage of products and services, expectations around modern work environments. And how do you do all of that in an environment that's still incredibly hard to make money in? It's hard to make money in a low rate environment. It's hard to make money, obviously, with the standpoint of looking at losses and what are going to come around losses. So capital allocation is still tough. It's still hard to look at in a constrained top line revenue and profit environment to look at how you invest your tech budgets. But clearly that tech investment conversation needs to be had. Because those that did invest in technology pre-pandemic certainly are feeling the impacts of being able to use that technology investment to come out of the other side a lot quicker and faster. And those that didn't are stepping back and saying, what do we need to be more agile, more resilient, to be prepared for in the future, but also to compete more regularly with all the competition in the industry. So lots going on top of mind with the CXO suites.
Thank you. Over to you, Anirban. What do you see as the priorities of the CXOs today?
Yeah, as Bill mentioned, right, in the new world, CXOs are all looking for business agility, ability to introduce new product quickly, and technology is becoming a key part. Cloud has become an instrument for business transformation. At the same time, how they can really drive profitable growth and focus on cost optimization, leveraging platforms in cloud or AI has taken a lot of precedence in CXO's priority list. Productivity, collaboration across different constituents, whether it's the financial advisors, brokers, underwriters, all of them are working remote, right? What kind of technology can bring the collaboration much better? At the same time, what we are seeing, especially in the banking world, payment transformation has become an important trend globally. And it is working not only just their payment systems, but working with an ecosystem of partners, which is becoming evident in the payment business. That's where a Microsoft Cloud Platform kind of example really gives them that capability and play a pivotal role in that, right? If I go to insurance, it is more they are going through a change in relationship with their customers, and it's constantly disintermediation to reintermediation with their insurance ecosystem, and as a lot of players comes and it keeps on diversifying. So there is a distinct evolution or change of the risk that the way we look at it, also with the benefits of new safer cars or the workplace, and at the same time the risk associated with new things like climate change or cybercrime, distributed supply chain, people working from home, and pandemic. So how to model their new price and risk strategic with this dynamic is top of the mind of many of these CX of the insurers.
Thank you. We hear a lot about intelligent insurer, inventive banking. Bill, what are the opportunities from a cloud point of view, from a data point of view, from an artificial intelligence and analytics point of view that you see could help those organizations that you serve to become intelligent insurer and inventive banking?
Yes, great question. As institutions think about serving their customers differently and competing in the marketplace, all of those ideas around intelligence and inventive banking are really around the outcomes that they're looking to drive to run their businesses and to serve their customers differently. So how do you empower employees to make them more collaborative, to make them give them the ability to make decisions faster on behalf of their customers based on data? How do you create new customer experiences that are forward thinking in terms of products and services that are specific to their needs? And how do you do that with a real-time expectation that individuals and companies expect in terms of how you interact with them? How do you think about predicting the future and what needs are going to be potentially unlocked based on how customers are looking at their needs around financial services and institutions? So as you look at all of that, and if you look at driving those outcomes around those products and around those use cases, and as you look at embedding financial services into the fabric of everyday experiences, that's all going to be driven by the use of data. And not just data, but the analytics and artificial intelligence on top of that. So the idea of using data from a predictive point of view to understand next best actions for a sales organization, or the use of data to look at new product opportunities, or the packaging of data along with products to actually think about new business models that you can employ to actually create new products and services for the customers that you transact with through your own distribution channels, or participating in ecosystems that are outside of your current environment that you want to participate in by offering products and services, again, driven by underlying analytics that bring value to those external ecosystems. So how does that all work together in terms of offering products and services and new experiences and participating in new business models? All the underlying decisions for how you need to compete as an institution have to come from data. And so getting the data environment built out, cleaned up, bringing in the resources and the data scientists needed to do that, figuring out your models around looking at AI, and then actually looking how to apply that model. And that's a multi-year journey, but that is all being available now, given the technologies that are available through cloud and advanced AI technologies.
Turning on to Anirban, how is Capgemini advising financial services organizations to take advantage of the cloud to accelerate their transformation journey and their innovation path?
Yeah, first and foremost, Claire, we are advising clients to leverage cloud as a catalyst for business transformation. Our solutions are more guided by business change rather than only shifting the workload to the cloud. Hence, we have combined a full array of our capabilities of advisory services and industry knowledge together at the core of our cloud teams. So if I look at the two industries separately, like banking and capital markets point, our World Banking report shows that how banks are extending their role through open APIs to build a new beta system to bring fintech ecosystems. That will really be enabled with a platform like this. Hyper-personalization of sales and servicing for the investor based on platform like Dynamics 365. So this can be really leveraged across. KYC and fraud, which are the two urgent topics with needs accelerated digitization, because we are advising client here to simplify the organization process, modernize the core, eliminate as many manual handoffs as possible, and provide more a seamless customer experience. Retail banks, then financial advisors all need a way to collaborate with their new customers. We are advising them to introduce collaboration solution with Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. So it is all about using cloud as a business transformation, not just moving application or workload. If I look at insurance, the similar changes are going on. How they can sell more digitally, empower their agents, their brokers, underwriters, different channels, how they can bring it together, build an ecosystem, and exploit these channel partnerships. Again, Azure Dynamics can play a big role to enable this transformation. As they move into more touchless and a frictionless insurance process operating in that way, you have to have document processing, more AI-driven, reducing as much cycle time and manual intervention. Pricing the real risk, right? As Bill was mentioning, the data and analytics, adoption of those big data to drive more granularity, accuracy will really help in agility in underwriting and pricing. And lastly, innovation is in the cost, like they have to look at how they can flatten their loss curve, right? So this is where the innovation is very key, how they can bring data and new innovation and disruption coming from IoT or blockchain to support their evolution from being just a payer to become actually a partner in risk management. So our advice has always been on transformation of the business rather than just moving workload.
Bill, with the COVID pandemic, cost transformation and agility are driving momentum. How have you seen the cloud emerge as a key lever to achieve cost reduction, enhanced profitability, and enhanced agility and faster time to market?
Yeah, so I was saying earlier, and as Anirban had pointed out, the use of technology, particularly spotlighted through the pandemic, is top of mind. And so the idea of technology, to use it in a way to take cost out so that you can reinvest in your transformation going into the future, or the idea of realizing the cost benefit of doing things faster, with ability, cheaper, with more capability that allows you to get to processes that are more efficient, is also a way to actually realize benefit and return on investment as well. So the idea of cost takeout and faster return on investment are top of mind around institutions that are thinking about their tech investments right now. And so we've had some tremendous experience working with customers in that space, leveraging cloud against that backdrop. But again, it's all about the outcomes and the strategy that you're looking to develop. And we've worked in partnership with Capgemini in a few areas. I can think of an opportunity with a large investment manager where we've worked together, Microsoft and Capgemini, to work with this institution to look at the economics of moving from mainframe and the costs of being in a mainframe environment, on-prem environment, to Azure and moving to scale. And as Anirban talked about, not just moving from on-prem to cloud, but actually modernizing and actually cloudifying applications to actually get the optimization out of it, to actually see the returns and the cost. We've done that in the insurance space as well, working with a large mortgage servicer. That was an example of where we looked at optimization. We were able to enable a business process by taking an existing application and moving it to a cloud and optimizing it, which made the process much more efficient. And the return on the application around that process created new value opportunities for that mortgage servicer to actually offer to their mortgage origination customers and large lenders. And in the insurance space, we've worked together on content management and the whole idea of the data estate and what that looks like. So how do we look at managing that data estate and moving it to the cloud, and the economics of being in the cloud to take out costs, but to create agility and also to apply the data and analytics on top of that to get the value of what data can bring in terms of new experiences and new products and services that could be developed. So those are just a few examples of how customers are thinking about it and how we've had success partnering with Capgemini, working with customers.
Thank you. Sustainability and inclusion are strategic priorities for both Microsoft and Capgemini. Anirban, how is Capgemini progressing on this initiative?
Claire, this is very close to my heart because sustainability is not only just our social responsibility, it is good business. So along with Microsoft, we have committed to net zero plays. We are creating emerging priorities on ESG investing as well as on social lending. But above all, Capgemini Invest also published a Fit for Net Zero report where we are helping and we identified 55 different impact technology ideas to drive this recovery and pave a way to carbon neutrality. This will reduce, if it's followed properly, hundreds of metric tons of carbon dioxide, as well as it can create millions of jobs if we focus on that. At the same time, we are driving the Charter for Inclusion and Diversity, where we are collaborating with Microsoft Philanthropy on digital inclusion initiative to provide a career path in digital technologies to all the underrepresented communities. And lastly, we are working with Microsoft on moving the Capgemini managed private cloud to Azure. So trying to see all different ways. It's a good business sense as well as the right thing to do for us.
Bill, talking about the work together between Capgemini and Microsoft, how are we together generating real outcome and big impact for our customers?
Yes, and outcome is the key word. For us, as we talk to our customers to understand their business and their strategies, we want to get at the essence of the outcomes that they are looking to drive. And we focused our solutioning areas in some major, as we describe them, priority scenarios that we want a solution for. So we're hearing, and these are top of mind with our customers. So in the area of empowering employees, how do we do that with our collaboration tool sets and data that supports that? In the area of managing risk across the business in this environment, obviously, where risk models have been thrown out the window with the current pandemic environment, how do we help think about managing risk across the organization differently? How do we help organizations think about combating financial crime? Another big area where investment continues in that space. And then two other areas. One, which we talked about, modernization of core infrastructure in terms of core platforms and capabilities. Anirban mentioned payments. That's one big space with a lot of investment activity around the modernization of payments in particular. But how do you do that to create more value and more agility? But how do you do that to also take cost out so that you can reinvest in transformation initiatives? And then the other area around creating new customer experiences on top of that. Customer expectations are changing dramatically and rapidly. They're expecting more, and competition is actually serving that with regards to how other companies are looking to compete. And so how do we help our customers think about delivering solutions in those outcome areas? Underneath all that, obviously, it's data and AI, as we've talked about before, that drives the decisioning around all of those outcome areas. And what we've done is we've worked very closely with Capgemini. We've been working with Capgemini for over 2 decades. Our partnership has been strong and it evolves and it's been leading edge. In combining the power of Microsoft and our cloud technologies and our capabilities, along with our ecosystem of technology partners that use our vast platform of cloud capabilities across Azure, Dynamics, Office, and M365, our Power Platform, and using other ancillary services like LinkedIn, et cetera, give us a set of capabilities to solution on. And working in partnership with Capgemini's expertise from the industry, as well as their ability to understand how to deliver and serve and optimize application solutions with customers, we've been a force in the marketplace working together. And so to build on that, some examples of how we've worked with a major European bank, an investment bank in the UK. We're working on a project now, which is one of the largest data transformation initiatives going on today. Again, what we were talking about before, modernizing the data state, getting it prepared to actually drive the data and analytics strategy that this bank is looking to provide going forward. Looking at the idea of workplace for the future. We've partnered with a UK company and a US company and several others looking at workplace of the future and thinking about how to transform employee productivity and the collaboration experience. Again, working off of the Microsoft 365 platform to do that. Thinking about intelligent sales in a different way. We're working with another capital markets asset management company around intelligent sales and thinking about a large ability to drive with the advisor community data-driven tools that allow them to make faster decisions and more insightful decisions with their customers. And we're building that on top of Dynamics 365, and we're leveraging interesting things into that solution set around LinkedIn. So the combined expertise and power and technology skill set and infrastructure, we're having amazing success in the marketplace with our customers.
Thank you. Anirban, what is your vision about the partnership between Capgemini and Microsoft for the next 3 years? And specifically, what are the investments that you're thinking about to materialize this vision?
Our strategy, Claire, has always been to differentiate ourselves in the market with very domain-focused solution for Microsoft Cloud to drive business change, as I was mentioning in the previous question on the business transformation. So together, we have identified several industry priorities for banking, capital markets, and insurance sector, which we believe will be the next big growth driver for the cloud business, right? For example, in banking and capital market solutions, focus has been to modernize the core with Azure to drive efficiency and agility. Transformation of the payment business, Bill just again mentioned it. Sales and marketing intelligence for investment advisor using product like Dynamics 365. Business process transformation with Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. We are also collaborating with Microsoft in several insurance solutions to drive digital sales, touchless claims, improvement of risk modeling, as well as addressing compliance requirements that keeps on coming like IFRS, LDTI, etc. For the investment side, we have established a global center of excellence to drive solution and thought leadership for Microsoft Cloud specific to financial services domain. Our ambition is to be the leading partner for Microsoft to maximize adoption of Azure over the next coming years, next 3 years.
Thank you. And as we wrap up this discussion, I would like to ask both of you a question. What advice would you give to financial services organizations looking to accelerate their digital transformation? And I will start with you, Bill.
Sure. The first thoughts when I think about conversations that we've had over the last year is the desire to act and to act with speed. We're in an industry that's obviously focused on managing risk. But at the same time, the industry is at a point in time where it needs to take more risk associated with how it's going to look at technologies, examine how they're going to think about the use of technologies in different ways. And there's a lot of pressure to force that speed. There's competitive pressure. There's pressure from being in a regulated environment, so to be compliant and to have the right controls in place. And there's pressure from customer demand. There's an expectation from customers around how they want their solutions delivered and how they want those solutions personalized to their needs, or how they want those solutions to be agile, to be able to adapt to their needs going into the future. So if you're going to compete that way, you have to think about your approach. And so that approach has to be around understanding that compute is in the fabric of everything that we do. And how are you going to have a technology plan that not only creates that compute fabric environment within your environment, but how it connects to the rest of the world? 2, the second layer, thinking about how data plays a part of that strategy. The data-driven approach and the AI-driven approach to what's going to come around products and services and experiences is what's driving value. So you have to think about that. And then the experiences around how products and services are delivered after that has to be a driver to how you think about what you're delivering today and future business models that you think you want to participate into the future. And we've talked a lot about technology here, but the other conversations that we have and we jointly have with Capgemini as well with our customers is around the cultural change. You have to be thinking about the readiness of your organization and the culture that you're creating around adapting to change, adapting around new skilling, adapting around being a growth mindset environment and a constant learning environment as opposed to a know-it-all environment with regards to being fixed in your mindset around how you think about going forward. And with that culture change comes a view around, in the past, how organizations have been laid out, either by silos or by business lines. And the solutions that are defined in siloed environments versus end-to-end cross-organizational solutions that need to exist faster. And so that puts pressure traditionally around how these institutions have operated functionally or by line of business. So it's not just the technology, it's the cultural component of change that has to come together in order to take that risk and be forward-leaning to think about how you want to move forward.
And you, Anirban, what are the advice that you would give to these financial institutions that are striving for their digital transformation?
First, every crisis creates some opportunity. And I would say now is the time to be bold. Invent new business models, build the partner ecosystem to differentiate in the market with more digital capabilities, where Capgemini Applied Innovation worked with many of you to bring that to fruition. The second one is the changes, as we know, is always constant. We have to look out for new disruption and take advantage of that. 5G, IoT, which will continuously impact our digital journey. We have to be ready and flexible for that. And lastly, as Bill mentioned, be aware of the impact of this digital transformation to all the stakeholders, your people especially, your organization culture, and to bring a sustainable change in your business.
Thank you very much for this fantastic discussion. I think we nailed the key topics of our financial services clients, and I hope the best for the partnership between Microsoft and Capgemini. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you.